Welcome to the AI for Interior Designers podcast, where creativity meets cutting edge technology. In each episode, we dive deep into the world of artificial intelligence and explore how it's revolutionizing the interior design industry. From AI-powered design tools to the latest trends and innovations, we've got you covered. So plug in, relax, and let's embark on this exciting journey together. Welcome to AI for Interior Designers podcast. P.S. This intro was written by and voiced by AI to sound like your host, Jenna Gaidusek.
Hey designers, welcome back for episode 63 of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. I'm your host, Jenna Gaidusek. And it's been a couple weeks because I was at High Point. So I needed a breather. If you've never been to High Point before, go. If you have, then you know. So here we are back, like 2 weeks later, but I needed to recover and recoup and just catch up. It takes a lot out of you and you can't be doing all of your other things. So anyway, this podcast, while I love doing it, is not a priority for me, to be totally honest with you. I don't consider myself a podcaster. This is just something I do on Fridays, so here we are. It's Friday morning that I'm recording this per usual, unless if I have a guest, but I want to give you a little recap of what this market was like, because we did some really cool things and the energy of the people that were there was so involved and so great, but it was quiet. For those of you that are listening that went to market, did you feel like it was just where's all the people? Why can I take pictures without having to crop out 50 different people inside of this frame right now? I think we all know why it was quiet. I don't think we need to have that conversation right now, but if you don't know, maybe read a little, but it was weird. It was a weird market overall, with the amount of people. However, on the other side, all my friends were there. All my, everybody that I hang out with when I go to trade shows, I don't know if I just hang out with the same people over time, but I had so many friends there this time, people that I haven't been able to see in a long time since other trade shows or, conferences or whatever. So that was nice because we actually got some one-on-one time to chat, but maybe a lot of my friends are coaches and that's why they were there, like business coaches or, I know a lot of designers also that I work with or are friends with that have firms or just local in North Carolina. And that's why they're like, I'm just going to drive. But I feel like that's who was there this time. It was a lot of business coaches who are my friends. And it was, a lot of professional, and not saying nobody here that didn't go is not professional, but people that are teams, firms, larger groups. I saw a lot of that this time where they're look, we need to future proof our business. We also have clients that we actually need to look for products for. So that's why we're here. And I think that, there's just designers right now that didn't have the necessity to go. And so that's why it was a little bit quieter, we'll say. But let me tell you what I did. We were there because it's not the first time that I've done this. And it's definitely not going to be the last time that I will do this. So AI Day, this was the second one that we hosted. And I say we because Julia is helping me to produce these from the Lifestyle Historian, who you probably see help me with other things on the site as well. She helps me with events, marketing, email blasts, just getting my shit together. She's helping me. So those of you that are creatives that know that we have to do all these things, but also we got to do our job, right? So when am I going to write those 50 emails that need to go out or that funnel that I need to build to remind people about stuff? I don't always have time for that. So love working with Julia. She was amazing putting this event on. And we had partnered with Feizy Rugs. And I'm just always slow down because I want to say it right. And I'm thinking of Michael Bauer in my mind right now because I was like, Michael, I can never say Feizy. How do I say it? And he goes, Feizy like crazy. And so now every time before I say it, I'm like, that's how. So anyway, it was at Feizy and oh my gosh, the hospitality. I just have the nicest things to say about the entire Feizy community. Everybody that was working at that showroom or there to support that showroom during market, you guys are the best. Seriously. Thank you for hosting our group and for just taking us around on a tour and just everything that you did to make the event so special. We had a really great turnout. As I had previously mentioned, I was not promoting this. The thing is, I create kind of I don't want to say elusive because they're not. I did talk about it, but I like intimate, like in-person trainings. I don't necessarily want there to be 200 people, especially when we're spending the entire day together to go through everything where like, you can call me over and we can go through like what's on your phone, what are you looking at? And that's exactly what we did during AI day. Like we literally set up apps, widgets, computer stuff. Like I looked at your computer and I was like, okay, here we go, let's do this. Or luckily Julia's husband was there because I don't iPhone. And so everybody in the room had an iPhone. And I was like, where's the transcriber? So thank you, Darren, for helping with that. But like it was cool to be able to like get this close knit, a dozen people together, some from teams, some individuals. And we just like did practical AI stuff. Like the entire agenda for the day was, okay, here's the tools, here's core tools that you could probably use or have access to now. Let me show you where to find them. Let me show you how to put them on your computer. Let's make sure that your team members can also access them if they're sitting here. And then like, what do we do with them? Here's some prompts. Let's create some images. Let's take the transcript that we received from the fabulous tour that we got from Michael, and I'm blanking on her name. I will definitely look it up. Custom order rugs at Feizy. They took us all around the showroom. I recorded it the entire time, as did a lot of the designers with the new note-taking systems native to your phone that we worked on that morning. That way, like when they see a rug or hear something interesting coming out, the collection or something, or capabilities or options for whatever, they then made themselves a little transcription voice note. Maybe they said like, here's some interesting cleaning, things that I just heard, or take a picture of this rug and then like, let's add this to this client's project. Here's a little bit of information that I want to say about it. So, there's different entry points for gathering information and using AI to do it and then sort it later. So that was a lot of what we did. I mean, there was a lot of really fun, cool tangents, Canva stuff and all of that. But we implemented like market is chaos, like you get to market and it's just like go, 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 drink, go, eat, and then eat a little and then you drink. Like, but you don't stop, right? So remembering all the notes, all the products, everything that you saw, and then like figuring it all out when you get back. That's why I introduced like this note-taking system and organization during AI Day, because we're creatives. We're not the most organized back end people. Like it's taken me a lot. And to this day, I have too many email accounts and that's the downfall, honestly. But it's taken me a lot of time to come up with systems and programs and organization that just like make sense so I can find stuff. Isn't it nice to just find stuff when you need it? Like, thank God for this Comet browser that I'm using, because finding emails and files and notes and transcripts and just like all the collected areas that we put crap, it's like, why do we do this to ourselves? And I know that I'm not talking to myself right now because I know that at least 90% of the designers listening, unless if you are using more of the other side of your brain, which is not where I'm at, and you're more analytical and methodical, you guys got it. But for the majority of us, I think that the creative side makes it so that our phone storage and project management, if we do not have a solid system down, is just like friggin' chaos. So that's what I taught, like how to actually use AI, like no bull, like we're just like, here, I want to have a conversation. I want to have notes about this session. I want to, like remember this for this client. And then I want to put it all into a project in one of my favorite large language models or AI tools. And then like just search in chat to find, whatever we talked about 3 months ago for this project. Like that's what we did. And last AI Day in the spring, we were at a private label company and they are just outside because they manufacture right there. So just outside of like downtown High Point. And that day was awesome too. Like now with 2 of these AI days at High Point under our belts, I already know what's in the pipeline for next year. And I'm excited to share that with you guys once we get more details on that. So I just have to say one last thing about this part. And it's, I teach AI, right? Like I teach AI, but I'm a millennial and I was one of the last generations to play outside, to write to learn cursive. I don't know. I don't know when kids stop learning cursive, but like I had things, I had tangible things that did not live on a cloud. You know what I mean? Like we had papers. I don't print papers now unless if I absolutely have to. But like I do kind of miss the tangible part. I also miss the human interaction part that in the past, honestly, like 6 years has just went down the tubes. And keeping up with like going to all of these events and teaching and just like being out and having conversations with designers and industry members in person, like it fuels me. I don't know how to say that, but like it breaches the gap between the AI and the computer stuff in the digital world that we live in with the nostalgia and the human connection that I think is missing. I've had more conversations in the past 2 years of doing this at conferences with people that I have started to build like what I would call lasting relationships that I could never do over the internet. You know, like built a previous company all online. I had 5,000 people in my Facebook group, but I think in real life, I probably only had a handful of people that knew who I really am. You know, like I'm 5 feet tall. Most people don't know that when they meet me in real life. Like the people that I had in those Facebook groups probably never would have known me on that personal level, like a human interaction level because it was digital. You know, it's all online. But the connections that I've been making by going out, hosting AI Day, being able and like just so privileged to be asked to speak at nearly every single conference or as a panelist over the past 2 years, the relationships that I've made and the human connections it makes what I do like so special because I'm connecting the digital with the real world through human connection and the friendships and the real conversations that I've been having with people at so many conferences are like deeper than I have ever had with people, you know, even going to other things before. Um, like it's just we are all kind of hurting right now. Like if we're being so real right now, we are all just doing it, right? Like we're just like what's tomorrow? Like what's coming out tomorrow? What do I need to brace myself for? But like if there's one constant that I know that I can look forward to replenish myself, my energy, my inspiration and, you know, just why I do what I do every day and love it so much, it is going to these trade shows. It is hosting events like AI Day and other workshops where like people come up to me and they say things to me that I'm like I'm so grateful. I am just so grateful for what you all tell me that I am helping you with because as I sit here and I record this on a Friday morning, it's just me talking to my computer, you know? And that's what it's like for most days. Like it is me recording something to myself. The conversations that I've had with so many of you over the past year, I mean, you guys are going through it. We are all kind of going through it in our own way, right? But like some of us have it harder than others. And I'm here and love having those in-person conversations. Social media lately over the past year, I'm just so over it. Like I'm so over it that I'm like, ugh, I just love these in-person like community events. And I cannot say enough good things about getting out there and going to a market. It doesn't have to be High Point. It could be Las Vegas market. It could be Chicago market. Like there's markets all time in the year. Okay. There's events all times of the year. Get out there. You're definitely going to thank yourself. Okay. Especially if it's like in your local area, you don't have to pay to like travel and all that stuff. Go to these trade shows, not just for the product, but for the people, the connections, and the education. Okay. So, speaking of education at trade shows, so I did another presentation at High Point on Saturday, and this one was AI tools and the essential 4 tools that I would recommend. And this one was at the Howard Elliott showroom, also co sponsored for the Lunch and Learn with IDS. And if you know, I love IDS, chapter member here in Charleston, but IDS sponsored this Lunch and Learn with Howard Elliott in their showroom. And if you have ever been to the Howard Elliott showroom, it's kind of like a fun little like fun maze, like fun house, because everything's mirrors and like really cool accessories. And anyway, you're just kind of like walking through this maze of mirrors and partition walls. So it's a pretty big showroom though. However, it was not big enough for the free event for AI Essentials on Saturday. During the time for our AI day, just, come and learn presentation, there was over 200 people in that 2-hour window for the lunch and learn that came into the showroom or attempted to come in the showroom but couldn't make it in because it was so full. I just have no words. I'm so honored that you all wanted to come and listen to me. Questions were fantastic. The engagement was fantastic. I got up there and the room was packed out. And I said to Brian Burke, who is the founder of Howard Elliott Collection, I was like, Brian, next time we're going to need a bigger space. And he was like, okay, we'll figure that out. So we're figuring that out, guys. So hopefully I'll see you next time. And we will have more room for everybody. But it was absolutely phenomenal. I cannot say enough nice things about Howard Elliott Collection. We've partnered on other stuff before. Just genuinely like helpful, tech forward people that work there. All right. So check them out. If you don't already know Howard Elliott, check them out. Like events like this just goes to show you how like they really truly do bring in things and speakers and alcoholic drinks that are phenomenal for their designers. And I'm not a big drinker, guys, but like when you go to market, they're everywhere. So what are you going to do? You're not driving home, right? So they have some fantastic drinks, people, product, of course. But this session was absolutely amazing. And thank you, Howard Elliott and IDS, for bringing me in and letting me talk about what I like to nerd out about, AI. So that was Saturday. Now, so I guess next day, we'll cut to next day. And this was on Sunday. So Sunday, I was on a panel with Marie Cloud and also Marco from a company that you have heard me talk about a few times on here before, and also in my AI tool list is Amazing XR. And I have linked it in my tool list. I'll also link it below. This software basically does AR stuff and also 2D pictures to 3D models. So for the past year, this has been like my go-to for an all-in-one that does AR for like product, and then could also turn it into a downloadable file for SketchUp, whatever. You can convert it, GLB files, all that stuff. So you can bring it into your models as well, all just based off a picture. So this panel was wonderful. I absolutely loved doing this. It was sponsored by Ann Moore. And so we had a great conversation where we basically just showed when we use AI in like our actual design process. And then Marco weighed in from like the more technical side and, development and product side. And then Marie and I shared just kind of like where and when we're using it. Because Marie has also been using AI and integrating it into her firm for the past 2 years as well. So love talking to designers that are like, I'm on board. How can I streamline? Man, we get so nerdy. We're just like, what are you using for workflows? What are you using for, like rendering? What are you doing your design boards with? How are you sourcing faster? And it's like, this is why I started a podcast, because my husband was like, stop. What are you talking about? Anyway, he would listen anyway. His eyes just glaze over every time I talk about this. So that's why I do this podcast. So I can talk to myself about it. And maybe you guys will talk to me about it in real life. Which a lot of you did. Thank you for like acknowledging that I have a podcast, by the way. I guess maybe now that it's on Apple, everybody's like, oh, I listen to your podcast. I was like, thanks. I just do it on Fridays for fun. So that was cool. All right. So that was Saturday. That was Saturday's panel. After Saturday's panel, I stayed in the same little area there because we had a sip and flip. I always forget the name, Sip and Flip. And following the Sip and Flip was the awards for 40 Under 40 presented by Designers Today magazine. So I got that. I am so grateful to get that. And also Vision magazine. I got 40 Under 40 this year as well. So very grateful for those, for the rec. But that was such a great get together in awards. Also, a lot of my friends got the awards too. So whether they were there or we took some nice pictures, it was really cool to see so many millennials in one room, but just like genuinely really great people. Just have the nicest things to say about everybody, but like I really don't have a lot of problems with anybody in this industry. So I am going to keep saying nice things about the people that I like. And that's pretty much everyone. Thank you to Andrea at Designers Today for putting on such a fantastic event, and also for honoring the people in this industry that are under 40 that um put in the work and they are just thriving. Like, there was so many cool people there like that I just admired for what they're doing in their space. Thank you for that, and for the recognition of that award. That pretty much takes us to, like, the next morning I went home. I got there Thursday. I went out to dinner with some people that you all would know from the industry. There's a lot there. It was a great, just great connecting with everybody at dinners during market. If you don't already do that, make a reservation now for a good place. But we all end up around the proximity hotel at one of those restaurants by the end of the night. And we are all pretty much exhausted by that time, and everything's really dark. So I'm like falling asleep at all these dinners, but also like finding the energy to like be there and be present and have these awesome conversations I've been talking about, because that's where I feel like I am forging the relationships with people on a greater level. I don't look at people or research anyone, to be totally honest with you. I don't know who anybody is in this industry unless if we've worked together, because I I don't like to be like intimidated by a good resume, so I don't look anybody up, and I'm just like, oh hey, another person. But anyway, it was cool to like. But anyway, it was cool to like just be with everybody, have the conversations, connect, and then just talk about what's happening in the world, what we're going to do about it, and how we are, protecting and preparing ourselves. So those types of conversations are not things that you can like legitimately have over Facebook, and I keep referring back to Facebook because that's how I started doing the first company. It was Facebook based, eDesign Tribe, which was a community, and then a school, and then, rendering software and all that stuff. And that was acquired. So now I'm like, ugh, I'm so done with the fake and the honestly lies on social media. So going to these events, there's nothing better that you can do for your career than going to some kind of a trade event or conference or whatever. Okay. So if you missed this fall market, it's okay. You didn't miss much. Obviously, pretty stuff and awesome people, but we'll see you in the spring. Okay. And if not at the spring, then I will see you at KBIS, which is in Florida this year. So I'll be there for that. I'm working on some other stuff as well, but I can't share that yet. So hopefully I'll see you around in 2026 at all of these different trade shows and markets that I'm planning on attending, and hopefully at one of my AI Day trainings, because if you're looking for that, like, hey, Jenna, come just like open my computer and put this thing on there for me so I can do it. That's what these are for. Anyway, so with all that being said, part of the reason why I also did not post last week is because I am elbows deep in what's coming for 2026. And I know that you've been hearing me talk about some of it and tease some of it out. Because of all these trade shows, things just weren't happening as fast as I wanted because I travel and sometimes I have to sleep. So I try and, fit that in here and there. And I got kids and, that stuff. So I had planned on, some of these things coming out sooner. However, I am really not mad about the way that it worked out. And I don't think a lot of you will be mad when you hear about it either. But this information, hopefully I'll be sharing next week, if not next week on the podcast, definitely the week after, because it's coming and it is now going to be the entire program and it is all going to make so much sense. One thing that I have learned about what I do is that I am inventing the wheel. I don't have a blueprint. I don't know what AI is going to do next. Like, I mean, I do, but like really in 3 months, I don't. I don't know what is going to be coming out because that's how fast and furious it comes. So planning an educational system around a tool and an entire market that you don't know what's going to be out in 3 weeks, or if it's going to like literally just kill all the jobs in your industry. It's been hard to create a curriculum, to create a program over the past 2 years, because it has been officially 2 years since I launched AI for interior designers, November of 2023 with the first class. So, thank you all for bearing with me as I kind of figured out the best plan of attack. And I figured it out. So, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to share. Stay tuned. More on that coming. But I think a lot of you, hopefully, will be just as jazzed about it as I am. All right. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. And not just for this episode, but listening to all the podcast episodes and supporting what I do, because I truly am here to support you, though I do a lot of what I do because I just want to nerd out and like talk to my friends about it. And if I get paid to do that, cool. But I just genuinely love the things that I get to do in this role that I have created for myself as an AI educator for interior design industry. So thank you. And I will see you next time. Until then, have a great day.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and tune in next week for more AI tips for your design business. See you next time.